Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Joy-Filled Universe podcast. I am your host, Lisa Ryan, and I hope that everybody is off to a really awesome week this week, and you're just living your best lives. And you might be thinking to yourself, okay, and what are we talking about today? And so today we are going to discuss something that I have been noticing a lot lately, and that something has nothing to do with how old we are or where we are in our life journey, and it has everything to do with maximizing our human experience, because isn't that what it's all about? I mean, seriously, isn't that what it's all about here? We're just trying to live our best lives in every way that we possibly can. And so I'm going to speak for myself here when I say that one of my biggest dreams is to live a life that is so full that when I'm in my final phase of the human world, that I have no regrets. And I can honestly say that I did everything I wanted to do. And most importantly, I did it all while being my most true and authentic self. And so what I want to message today then is, how do we do this? Because I feel like that's something we all want to know. Like, all right, we all realize, yes, I want to live my best life, but how do we do it? How do we get there? What's the tool or technique that we need to place into our amazing life equation to guarantee us this type of end result? And well, I believe that the super special element is living our life's mission. Yes, our life's mission. And every single one of us is on a life mission. And this mission, it is something that is unique and special only to us. And only we get to live it in the very best way that it can be lived. Because our life's mission, if you can believe this, is simply being you. That's it. Just being you. And you might be sitting there thinking to yourself, I actually am being me and I'm living my best life. I have a wonderful career. I have checked all the boxes that I thought would make me happy. I'm responsible and dependable. I'm successful, all of it. However, many of us have this little itty bitty voice inside that leaves us wondering, is this really why I'm here? Is this really what I'm meant to be doing? Or I feel like there is something more. And one of the reasons I believe this itty bitty voice inside to be true is because while I was very early in my intentional self-development journey, I learned about a woman by the name of Bronnie Ware. And this incredible lady was a caregiver who took care of people who were in their final weeks of their lives. I mean, talk about a saint, right? I am so grateful for people like her. So over the course of caring for hundreds of humans, Bronnie Ware developed relationships with them. And because of this, these people naturally reflected on their lives with her, because it was at a time when they were at their most honest and genuine state, because they had little to no reason to pretend or impress, right? So many of these folks just voluntarily shared what they wished they had done more differently in their lives. And while these folks shared, Bronnie started noticing the same themes were coming up again and again. And Bronnie ended up writing about her observations in a blog like in the early 2000s. I think it was around 2009, which became so popular that she ended up writing a book that was titled The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And I have not read this book. However, I do know that it became an international best-selling memoir. So it might be something we all want to check out at some point in time. But anyway, what Bronnie Ware captured was the fact that people's deepest and longest lasting regrets often centered around the lives that they did not live. In fact, to quote her, she wrote in her book that people had said, "I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me." And one of the other ones too, just to share, was, "I wish I had let myself be happier." Both of these just tug at my heartstrings. They're just so profound. And I will say that living our lives on our terms, along with being happier, are some of the main reasons why I established the Joy-Filled Universe, because I believe to my core that we all get to live our best lives. And I do not care where you are in your life journey. Because I truly believe that it is never too late to start living your dreams, most especially on your terms. And so now, going back to what Miss Ware had said, I don't believe that people arrive at the end of their lives with that kind of regret just because they lacked intelligence or opportunity. I don't believe that's true. I think their regret is because they spent so much of their lives living from someone else's emotional blueprint. Somewhere along the journey, they likely traded their authenticity for approval, curiosity for conformity, joy for obligation, and became incredibly good at being who everyone else needed them to be, while slowly abandoning who they truly were. And so fulfilling our mission, right? When we think about that now, it's probably the most important thing that we can do in our human experience. And it is also something that will allow us to live the life that we dream of. And so our mission is not something that we have to go and find. It's not something that we have to create, and we certainly do not have to earn it. In fact, our mission, should we choose to accept, seriously, our mission, should we choose to accept, is to unapologetically and authentically be ourselves, to truly be who we are at our core, and to intentionally live into that every single day. And the way that we get there, the way that we get to uncover or rediscover our mission, is by following our incredible and unique energetic blueprint. And I believe that everyone comes into this world with a unique blueprint, because it's the essence of who you are. It's the gifts that we have, our passions, our values, our way of seeing the world. It's the beautiful combination of experiences, talents, personality, and heart that no one else possesses in quite the same way that you do. And so when we come into this world in this incredible form that is unique and perfect for us, we are awesome because we are pure source energy. Yet some things tend to happen as our life unfolds, and those some things come in a lot of different forms. They could be our families having expectations for us, teachers telling us what success looks like, society rewarding certain paths of life, our jobs defining what achievement is for us, and friends influencing our decisions, or social media and all those highlight reels that just fill our minds. And so little by little, without even truly being aware, we begin to put masks on, and we start to wear these disguises of being the ideal parent, the star athlete, the model employee, the people pleaser, the overachiever, the smart one, the perfect one, the one who has it all together, the reliable one, and the happy one. And at first, they're just roles that we play, and some of them are true for us and reflect our natural gifts, but some certainly are not. And so eventually we find that we wear those masks for so long that we begin believing they are who we are. And if we live inside those masks long enough, we can actually end up fooling ourselves. And so now I say all of this because our mission isn't becoming someone new or creating an identity for ourselves. Our mission is being who we were before the world told us who we should be. And this happens to be where our energetic blueprint comes in. And you can think about it like this. The energetic blueprint, think about it like building a home, for example, right? So before any type of construction takes place, there's a blueprint. Every doorway, every window, every room, all of it. It all begins with a plan, and our lives work exactly the same way. Our energetic blueprint is like the invisible bundle of information that already exists within us. It contains everything we need to become who we truly are meant to be in our lifetime. And like I said just a second ago, I believe this blueprint existed long before we ever entered this human experience. Whether you call it the universe, God, source, the divine, Buddha, whatever it is, I believe that before we were born, this blueprint was created specifically for us. It was lovingly designed with our unique gifts, our passions, our personality, our strengths, our lessons, our dreams, our challenges, our compassion, our courage, our curiosity, everything we would need to live this incredible human experience. And so our mission isn't to invent who we are. Our mission is to remember who we are, to uncover the incredible human being that has been there all along. And one of the ways to remember, if we can, is to think back to when we were children, little young children, because these little gems are really new to this world, right? They don't wake up wondering if they're good enough. They don't spend their days worrying about whether someone will approve of them. They don't constantly compare themselves to everyone else. Rather, they're just naturally curious, and they laugh easily and love deeply and dream without limits and imagine impossible things. They create and explore and they wonder. So if you can, think back to those times. What was it then that made us feel really alive, right? I mean, before people showered us with their opinions and we started chasing approval instead of joy and achievement instead of fulfillment and recognition instead of authenticity, all of that caused us to drift away from our blueprint, and it became buried beneath years of expectations, along with all those masks that we have been talking about, right? And the incredible silver lining here is that our blueprint never leaves us. It's not like if we don't use it, we lose it. And I genuinely feel that to some degree, we always use our blueprint. However, the goal is to learn how to maximize using it. And I know that we use our blueprint because every time we have one of those thoughts that absolutely just lights us up with joy, every time we feel completely alive while doing something, every time our heart says, this feels like me, or, oh, I love this, that happens to be our blueprint. That's when we're aligned with our blueprint. And when we align to it, the universe is saying, do this, follow that path. This is for you. This is why you are here. And I know personally that there have been times in my life where I have felt so lost and directionless, yet it was these times that I leaned into the universe and I trusted that I would be guided back to my unique path. And because I was open to receiving the universal nudges and following those magical breadcrumbs that would show up as opportunities or people or ideas in my life, I never felt alone, and I always found my way back on track. And what I mean by back on track actually is where we stop living the life everyone else expects us to live, and we start having the courage to live the life that feels true to us. And now, let's see, I also want to tangent really quick and just say that sometimes people will use the words mission and purpose interchangeably, but I actually see them as being different, because your mission is being you and following your unique blueprint. It's peeling away the conditioning and removing the masks, questioning the stories that you've inherited, and remembering and living into your authentic self. And your purpose is what you choose to do with your blueprint. Maybe your purpose is teaching or creating, leading, healing, building, parenting, inventing. You get the idea. And And what's cool about purpose is that it may evolve many times throughout our lives, but our unique blueprint, well, that authentic essence of who we are remains remarkably consistent. So the more we live our mission, the more we are living the life that is meant for us, which means it is where the opportunities show up effortlessly, abundance will flow naturally, love feels easy and full, and joy just gushes into our worlds every single day. And so how then do we begin, right? Because this all sounds amazing. So how do we begin? How do we start reconnecting with our energetic blueprint and life mission? Well, I thought about this and I thought, you know what? I am just going to give you all a very simple exercise to try this week so we don't feel overwhelmed, because I do think that it is actually a really fun way to rediscover our energetic blueprint and get back on track with our most authentic selves by living our mission. So go ahead and find a journal or take out a piece of paper, whatever works for you, and ask yourself these questions. What made me come alive as a child? What activities have I done in the past or do today that makes me lose track of time? What brought me joy before I worried about what everyone else thought? When do I feel most like me? What would I pursue if I knew I couldn't fail? What is something that I can't wait to do every day and time flies when I'm doing it? And maybe the biggest question of all here is, what mask am I still wearing that I'm finally ready to take off? And that, I'm going to say, that one is a hard one, but it is a goodie. And I think it would be so valuable to find that answer. And I'm going to say too, if you're struggling, you can even just do what I do, right? I just ask the universe for help. I call in my angels and team of light, and I ask for guidance back to my blueprint, which again is that invisible data that originates from our authentic selves. And please, please, please know that wherever you are in life, if you have a pulse, it is not too late to reconnect with your energetic blueprint. It is never too late to become more authentically you. So let's decide today. Let's do it today that from this moment forward, we are going to start finding our way back to our curiosity, back to our joy, back to our wonder, back to the things that make us feel fully alive, because our blueprint is already there. Our mission is already there, and our extraordinary life is already waiting. All we have to do is seize the day. Seize the day, everyone, or carpe diem, which happens to be a quote that is largely attributed to the Roman poet Horace. And it's a perfect quote, if I do say so myself, for today's episode, because people often interpret carpe diem as live life to the fullest. And Horace's original meaning was that of encouraging people to appreciate and make wise use of the present, because the future is uncertain, and not necessarily to act impulsively. I'm just going to put that one out there, but to avoid postponing what truly matters. So let's start living authentically today, and let's strive to be the happiest that we can be each and every day of our human experience. I love that. I love that for all of us. And I'm already feeling so excited. I'm buzzing and I've got chill bumps. Oh, thank you so much for today's episode. Oh, because that, my beautiful friends, is going to be a wrap for this week. And I hope that you found today's episode to be helpful. And if you did, well then, a rating or a follow and a review, all of that would just be fabulous. And it is always appreciated. And guess what? It just takes a few minutes. So thank you so much all the time for your support. And yeah, on that note, I guess I just have left to say, I am your host, Lisa Ryan, and this is the Joy-Filled Universe podcast, where we explore all the tools and tricks that are going to make your universe even more joyful than it already is. And I will see you next week. Bye.